Let's start solving a decision tree problem. In this problem, her name is Beyonce Jones. She is planning to open a donuts factory. She has options to open a large facility, a small facility, or no facility. There are two states of the economy. So there are two market condition. One is favorable market and another one is unfavorable market. When the market is favorable, with the large facility she can earn $30,000. With a small facility she can earn, with a large facility she can earn $45,000, and with the small facility she can earn $30,000. But if the market is unfavorable, she will lose $15,000 with large facility, and she'll lose $10,000 with small facility. And as she has an option to do nothing or open no factory, she will gain nothing and lose nothing if she choose not to open any facility. And when at this stage, the probability of favorable market is 0.6, and hence the probability of unfavorable market is 1 minus 0.6, means 0.4. Now she has an option here to conduct a pilot study, but it's not free. She has to pay $5,000 for that pilot study. Now once she conducts a pilot study, the situation will change. The pilot study may bring a positive result or a negative result. The probability of a positive pilot study result is 0.65, and the probability of negative pilot study result is 1 minus 0.65, which is 0.35. Now there are conditional probabilities too. When the pilot study is favorable, then the probability of good market or favorable market is 0.8, and with the same result, it means positive result, the probability of unfavorable market should be 1 minus 0.8, which is 0.2. And when the pilot study result is unfavorable, the probability of unfavorable market is 0.9, and probability of favorable market is 1 minus 0.9, which is 0.1. Now to see these numbers clearly, I made two tables below. You can skip making table, but it's useful to make table. If you make a table first, then you will see the numbers clearly on the table. So let's have a look at the table. So here is the table. We have two tables actually here. The first table says that if the first table is for pilot study, without pilot study. If there is no pilot study, then the large facility will be 45,000, small facility will be 30,000, and if market is unfavorable, the large facility will from the large facility she will lose 15,000, and small facility she will lose 10,000. And of course she will lose nothing, gain nothing from no facility. The probability is 0.6, 0.4. Now we come to one with pilot study, and you see the numbers in here in pilot study are actually all the numbers in the first table without pilot study minus 5,000. Why? Because the 5,000 is the cost of our pilot study. So you see 45 minus 5,000, 40,000, minus 15,000, minus 5,000, minus 20,000, 30 minus 5, 25, minus 10 minus 5, minus 15, and 0 minus 5, 5,000, and 5,000. So this is like this. We get these numbers from in that way. Then we wrote the probability here. Probability of favorable study is 0.65. probability of favorable market given that favorable study is 0.8 and 0.2 unfavorable, and the same way unfavorable study 0.35, probability of favorable market given unfavorable study is 0.1, probability of unfavorable market given unfavorable study is 0.9. Now let's plot this thing in the tree. So I also made the tree in here, but I did not write the numbers. Let's do it here now. So okay, let me change this one, right? So now have a look. So the first one is large facility with favorable study, and that would be 45,000, and with unfavorable market, that would be minus 15, not study, sorry, market minus 15,000. in the same way 30,000. You can get the numbers from the table. That's what I'm doing in here, minus 10,000, and this one is 0. Now see, I wrote the probability here 0.6, 0.4. all of them should be the same, 0.6 and 0.4. and what we will do, we will multiply this one with 0.6, 45,000 times 0.6 from 0.4 minus 15, like this. So all right, before doing it, let's set the values first, then we will go for the calculation. So let's do it. And here I will actually get the numbers from here. I will just copy this one. So 45 minus 5, which is 40,000, and which is here is minus 20,000. Here we get 30 minus 5 is 25,000. This one is minus 15,000, and this one is minus 5,000. Same thing in here, because these two are actually with study. One is favorable sub-result, another one is unfavorable sub-result. So here is 25,000 minus 15,000 and minus 5,000, but the value here are not same. So you see here the favorable study here is 0.65, and when the favorable sub-result is favorable, the probability of favorable market is 0.8, and probability of unfavorable is 0.2. okay, in that way we will do all of them. You can write in all, you can write here, same, 0.8 and 0.2, same. And you see unfavorable market here, probability of unfavorable study is 0.35, and when study is unfavorable, the probability of favorable market is only 0.1, and probability of unfavorable market is 0.9. Let me put it in brackets so that we don't get confused with other things. Sorry, I think this is still visible also, right? Let me do it once again. Okay, that's better. Right, now we'll start calculating. So how to calculate? Look at the picture. There are some circles and some boxes. The circles ones are calculation, means we will calculate EMV. If you remember, expected monetary value equal probability times the value of that state. So here probability is 0.6, and the value of this state is 45,000. So 45,000 times 0.6 plus probability here unfavorable is 0.4 times minus 15,000. So this is how we will calculate. I can show the calculation separately, or we can do it here. It's not a big deal. Let's do it here. I think that would be helpful for you to understand. So if we calculate here, you can calculate by yourself, and you will see that this one will give us 21,000, and this one here will give us 14,000. and this one will give us definitely 0. Now you see the box. For box, we have to choose between three options. Between three options, which option is the best? So definitely the one giving higher benefit or higher profit is the best. So you see here 21,000, 14,000, 0. 21,000 is the best option. So we will choose 21,000 in here. Okay, and we will follow the same method for all three branches in here. So you see for the second one, 40,000 and minus 20,000, this will give us 28,000 because the probability is 0.8 and 0.2 here, not same. So so first this one will give us 28,000. 28,000 comes from 40,000 times let me write it here. I will remove it because I don't have space in here. So it's like 40,000 times 0.8, sorry, plus minus 20,000 times 0.2. So this is how, this is how we got 28,000. Okay, so 28,000 in here. You remember this method, so we will use the calculation using this process. Okay, now the second one is 25,000 times 0.8 plus minus 15,000 times 0.2, which gives us 17,000. In this one, actually, if the market is favorable or unfavorable, you will always have this 5,000 loss. Okay, now we'll choose again, we'll choose the best one as we did last time. So it's 28,000 in here. You see 28,000, 17,000 minus 5,000. The best option is 28,000. So we will choose 28,000. And then finally, the last one here, you see we have to do calculate again. 40,000 times 0.1 plus minus 20,000 times 0.9, which gives us minus 14,000. Minus 14,000. Okay, and the next one is 25,000 times 0.1 and 25,000 times 0.1 and plus minus 15,000 times 0.9. It will give us minus 11,000. Minus 11,000. And finally, this one will give us minus 5,000. Okay, so we have minus 14, minus 11, and minus 5. So as we did before, we have to choose the best option in here because these are the square boxes. So the best option here is actually minus 5,000. That is the lowest loss in here. Now once again, you see here for C and D we have chosen, but for number 1 we can't choose. We have to calculate because this is, you see, this is a circle. So we will calculate here, and because the study could be favorable, the study could be unfavorable. There is a probability for favorable study, there is a probability for unfavorable study. So what we will do here is we will do this 28,000 times 0.65 and minus 5,000 times 0.35, and that will give us 16,450. And now this is the time, this is our time to make final decision. What is the final decision? The final decision is whether to conduct survey or not. Now see, for this one, the first option is do not conduct survey. Second option is conduct survey. So if you conduct survey, the expected monetary value or EMV is 16,450. If you do not conduct survey, the monetary EMV is 21,000. So which one will you choose? Anyone will choose 21,000 because it's giving better benefit. So here is 21,000. So when our ultimate result is 21,000, it means, it says that you should not conduct a survey. Do not conduct survey. Why? Because if you do not conduct survey, you get better benefit, you get more result. So you will suggest her not to conduct survey. Now our question also asks us something else. It asks us, what do you recommend to Beyonce Jones? We recommend her not to conduct a survey and draw decision tree and compute the EVSI. It also telling us to calculate EVSI. EVSI means expected value of sample information, her survey. So let's calculate EVSI. Let me clean this thing. I don't know why. How do we get this thing in here? Okay, so calculate EVSI. EVSI. The calculation of EVSI comes from EMV with. So just let me write it. EV, expected value, with sample information plus value of, or cost of, let's write cost of, let's write it, cost of sample information minus EV without sample information. Okay, so our EV with sample information is 16,450. 16,450. The cost of sample information means cost of the survey is 5,000, and EV without sample information is, if you do not conduct survey, we see it is 21,000. So we'll go here, 21,000. Okay, so if you calculate this, we'll see 21,450 minus 21,000, which is 450. So that means expected value of sample information, the sample information's value is 450, but to get this 450 you have to spend $5,000. So that means it's not worth to spend that money for the sample information. That's all for this. So the solution here is do not conduct survey, and expected value is 21,000, and expected value of sample information is 450. That's all. I would expect you to calculate, show all the calculation in the exam when you have questions like this in the exam, because I have conducted all the calculation before, and I just wrote it here. You see, I just wrote it here, the calculation here. I just showed the calculation here, but you have to show all the calculations separately so that I understand that you calculated by yourself. And if you do not calculate by yourself, then you will make mistakes. That's all. Thank you.